Hey guys, Tennessee.Frank. It's been a while since I made a video. There's been some ideas I had circulating around, but I don't know if I've just not been motivated or just not felt like getting out and doing a video, but I'm going to do one. So basically what we're going to talk about today, just a rough overview. I mean, I'm not going to go into real depth over anything, but it's communication, and more specifically radio communication, being able to, talk to people while you're out and about. Maybe you're four-wheeling, maybe you're out hunting, camping, hiking, and you need to talk with someone. Maybe you don't have cell service, so you really can't use your phone. So the real good alternative is to get a radio, and we're going to look at 4 different radios that I picked up over the last month or two. They're all different price ranges. I mean, some of them, are relatively inexpensive. Anybody can afford to get into one. Some of them are a little more expensive. If you really want to, get into something a little higher end, more features and whatnot. And then there's a couple in the middle that are decent features that work pretty well. But we'll go ahead and then we'll go to the tabletop and take a look at them here in a second. But I know a lot of people throw around the word prepper. I don't know if I'm a prepper or not. I mean, I do like to put back a little food and water in case of emergencies. I got my firearms and ammo. That's, I think that's just common sense anymore with the world the way it is, to be able to defend yourself. I do have my solar power stations, solar panels, for electricity in case something happens. And different things, knives and what have you. You need knives and a way to make fire. And it's just common sense to have those things on hand just in case. And another thing that I've been overlooking that kind of figures into it is communications. And the easiest way to do that is to pick up a GMRS radio. You do need a license technically to transmit on it, but there's no test involved like there is with a ham license. Price now is $35. That's for 10 years. And it does basically cover your immediate family. So if you got, wife, kids, other loved ones that want to use the radios too, you're out camping or something and you want to use the radios, it covers them. They just use your call sign and they're good to go. And the nice thing about actually going with a GMRS radio, which is a good way, because you get up to 5 watts of power in the handheld units, over like an FRS radio, which is the little bubble pack radios you see at Walmart, sporting goods stores. Those you only can go 2 watts tops. You're very limited range, limited channels. With GMRS, you have better range. You can go through what's called a repeater, which basically picks up your signal, transmits it out at a higher wattage so other people can hear you, especially if you're say you're on one side of a mountain, your buddy's on the other side of a mountain. This UHF stuff and even VHF doesn't travel real well through things. It's more line of sight. So if you're on each side of a mountain, you put a repeater at the top, you go to the repeater because it's line of sight, it'll transmit it down to him line of sight. So you can talk over a pretty good distance. But we'll go ahead and let's move to the tabletop now, and we'll take a look at some of these radios that are available and just kind of roughly discuss price and look at them a little bit. So let's get over to the tabletop. First one we're going to take a look at is the least expensive one, and that's going to be this little Wang UV5R. This is technically a ham radio, not a GMRS radio, but they can easily be unlocked. Right now I got it set to scan highway patrol frequencies. You can go ahead and hit the scan button and it'll scan through. If it picks something up, you'll be able to hear it, which I don't know if we'll get anything right this second. Probably not, knowing how things go. But yeah, this is really a versatile little radio. You can also program it in. You can hit the VFO and go to frequency mode, which right now I got it at 462, 390, which is the local Portillo's down the street here, the fast food place. Sometimes I can hear her talking to customers. I can't hear the customers talk to her. But yeah, you got a couple different modes. You got your A/B button that swaps channels. It does have that Roger beep, as you can hear, which I like. It annoys everybody. I like it though. And these things run 20, 25 bucks, 30 for some of them. They do make a UV5G. That's for technically for the GMRS frequencies, but these are very easy to unlock. You can find the YouTube videos that show how to do it. It comes with the reasonably decent manual. Goes through everything, talks about the radio, you know, different buttons, different features you have. I probably could go in with chirp and go ahead and reset the frequencies and bump it up to where I could do the 1.25 meter band. That's the like the 220 megahertz stuff, but I'm not really worried about that. As long as I can get my NOAA weather radio on here, which I do have that set, and then between the 400 and 470 megahertz, that's really all I care about, is getting the GMRS frequencies and the highway patrol frequencies. You know, this is a good entry level. A lot of people like to hack on these as being cheap Chinese radios, and yeah, they are cheap, but I mean, they do work. And for that reason, you can get, you know, several of them and put back and have them available for use. If you've got a lot of people you need to supply radios to. Like I said, these are like $20 to $30 range. Next one we're going to look at is going to be the B-Tech, and that's going to be the GMRS V2. It's a second version. Same basic deal. So you can hear right there, they're talking on DPS East. There's an East, a Central, and a West that we have here. And let me see here where our scan. There's our scan down here. Hit the scan button. We can go ahead and here that's. And you'd be surprised some of the stuff you hear going on out on the road, on the freeways and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's scanning. Yeah, like I said, it's got your basic GMRS channels. It does have the VHF channels, the 136 to 174 gigahertz, as Not a Rubicon calls it, which is handy for your NOAA weather radio. You can scan MRS frequencies with this. B-Tech locks their radios in, so you can only transmit on your GMRS frequencies. There's no way at all to transmit on anything else. On this one, you can transmit on any frequencies you can receive on. So you got to be real careful. Like with the DPS, the Highway Patrol, I had to go through in the programming and lock that out, so I can't transmit. I don't want to transmit on those frequencies. It's a quick way to get in trouble. Transmitting on frequencies you're not allowed on. So I locked about on there. This one, you can't. Internally, it won't let you. On this one, and oh, by the way, this is like around $70, $69, $70 range. Not a bad little radio. This one is the Wuxin, is how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Oshan. This is the KG805G. This is their GMRS unit. It's a very basic radio. I mean, there's not a whole lot of fanciness to it. I got it set up to scan. There's your FM radio. Well, actually, they're talking on. Let me get out of here. Let me see if I can. Let me turn this on. Let's go to a different channel. There, let's go to GMRS 1, then one channel. It has an FM radio function, which, you know, if you want to listen to radio, most of these do. Let me find a good channel for us to listen to real quick. Go ahead and get 100.7. That's our local classic rock channel. Don't want to do too much of that though. I don't want to. And then one thing that nobody ever said, it's not in the manual, it's not on any videos I've seen. I had to kind of look it up and find a special video. The AB button, unlike these other radios where AB will change your up and down, like on this one. I don't want to say frequency because that's not really it, but see how your little arrow is up on the where it says DPSC? AB drops you down into GMRS 7. It moves you from one to another. It's like a dual band. Picks up two different bands. This is only a single band. So the AB doesn't change your band. This is only going to be UHF. There's no VHF on this. I can't get no weather radio. Can't do MERS frequencies. So what your AB button does, if you hold it down, it'll kick it into scan mode. So you can hear right there. And then if you hit it again, it takes it off of scan mode. And then here's all our different channels I got programmed. We got repeater channels. We got different GMRS channels, which we'll put this back down on 1 again. But yeah, for just a very basic radio, these are pretty good. These run about 80 bucks. So you're up $10. You're only a single band. You're only UHF. You're not UHF VHF like these other radios are. But if that's all you want to do is talk on GMRS frequencies, this works good. This is a super heterodyne radio, super heterodyne, which means it's an actual built radio, different circuits and different chips and everything to make up the radio system. These other three are what they call a homodyne, or a system on a chip, an SoC, where you just have one chip that makes up the entire radio circuit. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. Super heterodyne just seems to be a little more sensitive to frequencies, picks up a little better, transmits a little better. Probably not a nickel's worth of difference, to tell you the truth. I mean, you'll probably never really notice it, but it just does. It's a little higher quality circuitry. So you know you're going from 70 bucks here on this dual channel, you know, VHF, UHF, and another $10. You're dropping down to only UHF, but it's a higher quality UHF. They do make a KG 905G, little bit more expensive, about 125 bucks, that does VHF and UHF. But other than that, yeah, for just general GMRS, it's a good way to go. I mean, it's 80 bucks. It's a high quality radio. Then we get into another VTEC. This is going to be the GMRS Pro, and it's a pretty decent radio. We'll turn this on. And this is a more complicated radio. It's got a compass. See here, it's got a compass in there. It has GPS, which now we got a little bit of volume. There is a scan function. I forget which. I think was this my... No, that's not. Yeah, that's my scan function button. It's also FM radio if you just hit it real fast. But yeah, I have it scanning. You don't see it moving through the different channels, but it is scanning, believe it or not. And if it finds a frequency where someone's talking, it'll stop and listen. I can do a long press and stop scanning. Quick press. Puts me on a radio, FM radio. Turn that off. I can also, let me see how we did this. I think I did a long press to go to the next menu. Now we're on GMRS frequencies. And a short press, you can program these buttons. This has a learning curve to it compared to these others. It took a little bit of watching videos and reading the book and figuring stuff out. But we can go through different frequencies. See, GMRS 2, GMRS 1. Then we get into our repeater frequencies. And you can change it just by hitting the button. Like I said, long press moves it over to a different channel. I don't think I have weather radio programmed in this though. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't get weather radio programmed in this. So this is GMRS only. This will only let you transmit on GMRS. It does have a Roger beep, but you can't hear it. That's on GMRS 3. I'm going to go ahead, I'll put this one. We'll move it down. I'm going to put this one on GMRS 3. I think I got that up enough, and when I press this, you hear the little chirp. So yeah, there is a Roger beep on this, but it's not the same as like on, say, this one. With this one, hear that Roger beep? A little bit different. And then this one has a Roger beep as well, but it's like the Pro. It's not going to be an audible beep at the radio. It's going to be something that you only hear on the other end. This has a charging cradle, plus minus in temperature, so good. You can also get batteries for this for about 14 bucks. It has a USB, USB-C connector. Of course, the BTEC V2 is USB-C right out of the box, and it also has a charging cradle. This one is only charging cradle. There's no USB-C option for it as far as I know, not yet. Maybe one day they'll come out with a battery that'll be USB-C. This guy, no charging cradle comes with this one. It's only USB-C. And of these four, this has the largest battery. I believe it's 2600 milliamp hours. So it is a pretty good sized battery. They all come with these little antennas. They call them little rubber ducks. I mean, this one is off of the ocean, but they all come with a variation of that, which they're reasonable antennas, but they're not really the greatest. I mean, they compromise on the antenna because they know people are going to change that out. So the one I like to get is this Aubrey, and it's the AR771, and this is tuned for GMRS. It's a good size antenna, about 15 inches. I like the orange color. You can get them orange or black. I like the orange. It just adds a little bit of color to the radio. Kind of dresses it up a little. It is a copy of the Nagoya 771, which Nagoyas are going to run you about 20 bucks. These little Aubreys are 8 bucks. And I honestly think these will work just as well. I mean, you don't have to, you're not paying for the name. I mean, Nagoya's got a name, a reputation, and you're not paying for the name with these. It's just an Aubrey antenna. And some of these radios, if you get them in the higher kit, like the UV5R and the UV5G, they have kits where you get the two antennas. You get the actual nice antenna with it. But this is just a little quick overview of kind of what's out there, you know, $20, $25, $30, $70, $80. This was $155, so you are getting, you know, quite a bit more expensive. But it is a newer unit, and it is a very high quality unit. It does have an app. Let me grab a phone. it does have an app. You got to get your Bluetooth on, location on, and there's, let me turn the radio back on here. And you can see here on the app, this is all my GMRS channels. And I do have it set to single. You can do everything right here from the app. You got all your settings. You can adjust all your units. Like I wanted imperial units. So it is kind of cool. Everything's from an app. You don't have to plug in to say chirp or something in order to get your stuff going on here. FM radio, it's got it. See? I can turn the radio on from the app. Don't want that too much though. Don't want no copyright violations here. But yeah, I mean the app's kind of a handy thing. And you can just pretty much set everything up right from that app. You don't have to actually plug it in to your computer, which I do have Chirp. Since I do run Linux, I had to download a flat pack of Chirp Legacy. And all these are pretty much compatible. Technically, there's nothing for the 805G, but there's a UVD1P that will work with this, that's on Chirp. The KG818 works, and the 816, I believe it is, works. But from what I understand, the UVD1P is a better program to lock into this to do your channels on the computer. It doesn't show your settings on these other two. When you plug them into Chirp, you can go into like settings and adjust stuff on settings, so you don't have to go through your menu. But other than that, yeah, I mean, we buy guns, we buy ammunition, we stock food, water filtration, we do all that stuff, but then we never really think about communication. That's something that's going to be critical if infrastructure goes down. Even during a natural disaster, cell service can be real spotty. People are all trying to call their relatives and let them know they're okay and everything. Cell towers get congested, so you really can't talk to anybody. These are a good alternative. They're not going to get you, cross country. You're not going to be able to talk to, relatives, back in Tennessee or something from Arizona. But down the street, a couple, 2-3 miles, maybe you got family members or loved ones that live nearby, a couple miles away. You can normally reach out and get a couple miles with these, easy. Out in the desert here, where it's more flat, open, not a lot of trees or scrub brush. Scrub brush is all we really got, not a lot of trees. You could probably go 5 or 6 miles, maybe more. So it is a good alternative, if we're out going shooting and we're, following each other. Instead of hopping on the phone, where we might even not have cell service, kick on your radio. Have everybody have their radio. Maybe set it to channel 7 or something. And, talk on your radio. Let them know, hey, we're going to make a turn up here and go back to go shoot, or go over this way. You're out dove hunting, you get split up. Maybe the doves are doing real good where you're at. You can, yell to your buddy on one of these. Hey, man, I'm over, south of you. Come on over here. There's a lot of doves over here. Where you couldn't yell. They're too far to yell. So, and you don't want to get your phone out. I mean, that gets kind of annoying. You have to call somebody. And like I said, you may not even have cell service. So, this is not any intensive thing on the radios. It's just kind of a brief overview. There's tons of videos out there on all these radios you can look up on the YouTubes and get more in-depth. But this is just for people that subscribe to my channel, or maybe you just found the video, doing a search. And this is kind of going to, wet your whistle to maybe research a little more, figure things out a little more as to what you want. As far as me, I could probably live happy with this little Wang UV5R. Once you jailbreak it, you get your channels and stuff. Or this B-Tech is pretty nice, $70. I mean, it's a decent radio. I did want to get a super heterodyne radio for my collection. Didn't want to spend a ton, so that's why I went ahead and went with the 805G. It's a good solid radio, nice and simple. It works. And then I wanted something kind of fancy just to fool around with. And that's where the GMRS Pro comes in. It's kind of a, you know, a little fancier, got the Bluetooth and compass and the GPS and everything. So hope you found this interesting, and just like I always say, either we stand up for our rights or we can sit by and watch them go away. Y'all have an awesome rest of the day. We'll talk to you later. Tennessee Frank out of here.